Hi, I'm here in my kitchen with the ingredients to make some pumpkin heirloom tomato soup. So right here I have 1 can of canned pumpkin. You can use fresh puree pumpkin if you wanted to, but this is kind of like my cheater version. I have some kefir cheese that I kind of like to add, and this is kind of like a yogurt slash kefir cheese mix that I'm using that I bought. I have my spices, have some sea salt here, have some freshly ground black pepper that I ground myself. I have some paprika. I have some ginger. I buy a lot of my spices in bulk, so this was an old red chili flakes jar. I have some fenugreek and some turmeric, and of course right here I like used some of this tomato earlier. I have my heirloom tomatoes. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do, I have my blender container. Is I'm going to cut my heirloom tomatoes and I'm going to put them into my blender container. So you don't really have to cut them. I'm just kind of doing that to make it a little bit easier for them to blend. So as you've seen before in other videos, like I use the whole tomato. I don't like take the green stems off or anything like that. So like I could just dump these in here whole, but sometimes it blends just a bit faster if I kind of cut them in fours versus if I just dump them into my container whole. So I'm going to cut these babies up. Okay, so that is no good. And once I get this, plus when I do cut them, I can actually fit more tomatoes in my blender at one time, which actually helps if you kind of want to blend everything up at the same time. So I'm going to blend that up, and then I'm going to add my canned pumpkin to my blended mix. Okay, so I have my mixture blended. Now I'm going to add my canned pumpkin. So right here I'm just adding my my canned pumpkin into the blender. So of course you don't have to put as many tomatoes as I did, and you can absolutely use more pumpkin. I actually had 2 cans of pumpkin, and I used some the other day to make some pumpkin lattes. So this is all that I had left. So I'm just trying to get all of the pumpkin that I can out of this container to blend away. And I'm going to put my lid on, and I'm going to give it a quick blend. Okay, so it's all done, and now I'm going to add this to my pot. Okay, so I have my pot here on the stove, and I'm turning my oven, my stove on to about medium high. And I'm going to add my pureed tomato and pumpkin. into the mix. I'm just going to put the whole thing in there. And of course, I don't want to waste any of this yummy goodness. So, I'm going to get a spoon. That's what I'm kind of digging in here behind my camera, so I can get everything out. So, just let me do this. And this is kind of thick, so what I tend to do is, because I don't want it to be too thick, then by all means leave it thick if you want. What I'm going to do is add a bit of water to this to get all the rest of this out, and then I'm going to add it to my pot. Okay, so I have my water, pumpkin, tomato juice blend yumminess that I just got from out of my blender container. If you have any kind of stocks or anything that you have on hand that you would like to add instead of adding water, by all means do so. So I want this to really heat and boil up. So what I'm going to try to do is kind of cook the raw tomato taste out of this, because the canned pumpkin is already cooked. What I want to do is not have it have such a, you know, a raw tomato flavor in it. So now I'm going to add my spices. So now there is no rule for how the spices go in. Here's my pepper, and I just kind of add it by feel. You can add as much or as little as you like. Here's my fenugreek. So be as liberal or as frugal as you want to. Here's my turmeric. I love turmeric. I mean, I don't think there's a dish that I do not put turmeric in. Here's my paprika that I'm just kind of throwing in there. And here's a bit. I do have some fresh ginger, but I was being lazy and I didn't feel like going through the trouble of grating fresh ginger. So I'm going to stir that to and I'm going to splash it. I'm going to stir this to let those seasonings really get in there, and I'm just going to let this come to a nice boil, and then I'm going to turn it down and let it simmer for probably about 30 minutes. So we're going to check it in about 10 minutes with the lid, and just, you know, make sure it's on like medium high, and we're just going to let this come to a boil. Okay, so it's boiling quite nicely. I'm going to turn my fire down to low, like really low, and you can kind of see how that's it's kind of boiled down. So that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. And my soup has on a darker color, and that's because I've actually cooked the tomatoes, so they're no longer raw. And I'm going to add a bit of salt now, which I haven't done yet. I have my sea salt here, so I'm adding that, and I'm going to add in my Kefir cheese. So you don't have to, you can leave it like this, leave it totally vegan. So I'm going to add in my Kefir cheese. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it. That's probably about a 1/4 cup that I just added in there. So maybe this is about a 1/2 cup. I think I had maybe about 1/2 container left in here. And this is a pound, so that's like what, 16 ounces. So about 8 ounces, which is about a cup. And I'm just going to stir that in, get it all nice and cream like. Remember, my heat is on low, because now I just kind of want to simmer this to really make sure my flavors come together how I want them to. So I'm going to make sure that my kefir cheese is dissolved. And I know I showed this earlier, but I didn't need this because I actually had enough of the kefir cheese that I liked. If you don't have kefir cheese, you can use cream cheese if you want. If you use yogurt, I would actually use Greek yogurt instead, because it's thicker. So, but if you don't have kefir cheese, cream cheese actually, I think, works best. So, kind of going to get that a little bit more dissolved, and then I'm going to put my lid on it again, and we're going to let this cook for probably about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, and we're going to check it again, of course, with the lid on. Okay, so we are back, and my mix, okay, there's like this horrible, let me turn the light out and see if that helps. It's kind of dark, so bear with me while I adjust my funky kitchen lighting, trying to get the glare off of my soup. Okay, so this has been simmering on low for probably about 30 minutes. So, and it's looking how I want it to look. It's not too, still kind of thick, but it's not like super thick. That's my husband sending me a text message, if you can hear that. So I'm going to turn this off and get ready to serve it up. So, and yum. So let me turn that off and cover it with the lid, and we'll serve it up. Okay, so I have my soup in this this cup because I like it. Sometimes I just like to be able to carry it like this. And I have some mascarpone cheese because I just find it adds a kind of a nice little flavor. And this is like this is like 2 tablespoons. And I just kind of put it down in there and let it melt a bit. And then you can top it like with, yesterday I had it with some dried herbs that I made. And today I'm just kind of topping it with some green onions. So you can top it with any kind of fresh or dry herbs that you like. Again, you don't have to add the mascarpone cheese or any of the kefir cheeses inside, but I just kind of find that I like the way it tastes. So, cheers. Let me know if you give this a try. Thanks for watching. Bye.